Welcome to the management level case study analysis for the November 2022 and the February 2023. So students, before we move forward in detail of the November 22 and the February 23, you already know that this is a toy retailer. So I will specifically write it down. It is a toy retailer. Very clearly you can observe, I think you would have already gone through the pre-scene. It's a toy retailer. Now, before I start moving into the analysis, I want to give you a very important disclaimer alert so that it will be very important for the students who are learning in the distance. Now, students, if you observe in the November 2020 and February 2021, in the same syllabus, there was the same pre-scene material coming from Triblocks. I think you may be aware about this organization Triblocks, because this is once again similar to Lego, where this is a toy manufacturing company. Understand it very clearly, students. This is a toy manufacturing company. You can get the past papers of this as well in the case study website, that is the CIMA website. This is available, but this is specifically focusing on the toy manufacturing. And students, some students generally revise using past papers. I still say that's a good methodology, using past papers, but some students generally mug up the past papers. So students who are mugging up the past papers, please be careful. CIMA exam is a professional examination, so you need to be very much adjustable to the current situation. So coming back, students, this is the pre-scene material, Happy Place. Now students, before I move in detail, I just wanted to show you the subject content. Now if you observe in the CIMA management case study, it is completely different from the operational case study. Now if you go through the operational case study, it is very clear that you can always see that in the operational case study your knowledge is very much tested. Now if you observe the management case study and the strategic case study, it differs. They are not heavily going through the knowledge content, but they are effectively going through the application content. But if you are a student who is joining through the FLP route, my suggestion is just go through the accounting standards, because it is very important that there will be one question from the financial accounting standards. And also the E2 and the P2 are general perspective, so you need to be very thorough with the application only. And I will be doing another series where I will be explaining the content mapping in detail, so you can watch that as well. So students, before I do the analysis, a humble request. Please have a pre-scene material paper with you, a paper which you have printed out, and also have a pen with you so that you can work with me together while pausing the videos as well. Now students, coming into the detailed application, now if you see this context statement, this they started giving when there were pandemic, but now there is no much of pandemic, but I will just give you an idea what they are specifically stating here. We are aware that there has been and remain a significant amount change globally. To assist with clarity and fairness, we do not expect students to factor these changes in responding or preparing for case study. This pre-scene is the associated exam while aiming to reflect real life and are set in context where current and the ongoing global issues have not had an impact to this. Remember, marks in the exam will be avoided for valued argument and relevant to the question asked. Again, students, I will just highlight that very clearly. They are always asking the students to give situational based response. Now, working professionals, the good thing of doing CIMA is, even if you have not studied, if you have a very strong presence of mind, you can effectively score very well in the examination. The answers that make relevant to the references to current affairs will of course get merit. Now in simple language, I can just say Russia-Ukraine war. Now Russia-Ukraine war is a current issue that is taking place in the world, but in the examination you are not requested to write about Russian-Ukraine war. In the examination you need to always assume there is no war. And another example, I can say Queen Elizabeth died recently, if I am not mistaken. So you need not write about anything related to Queen Elizabeth's death in the examination, because you need to be very careful to the situation what they are requesting only. So students, let's start going through the case study in detail. Now I will be separating this into three sections. which will be the SWOT analysis later and the ratio analysis. But here we are going through overall in how you need to think in the accounting perspective or a consultant perspective. Now, introduction is generally about the business situation. Now, if you see, we are already aware this is a toy retailer. So, introduction generally goes with the business situation. The toy industry, again, it is very critical that you learn the industry from the material the CIMA has officially published. Westarian toy market. I think Wisteria is the local country that you are in, and the retailers and the manufacturers. Once again, it's a business application, if I'm not mistaken. Happy Playz business they have given. So you have to again be very careful about the business application, very, very importantly. And the history of our company is once again a business. Retail operation is also focusing on the business. Management is also focusing on the business. Happy Place management structure. This can be a little bit of people, leadership, and also the business element. So just be very, very careful of these understanding perspective only. And then students, they have specifically mentioned Happy Place business model. Again, it's purely a business application that the student should be aware of. Extracts from Happy Place annual report. This is a technical content. Again, I will be doing a separate video on this so that you will get the understanding more in detail. Extracts from the Glee. Now, Glee may be a closest rival. So again, there is a technical content that you need to be aware about. News article, this is very, very important. This is the current issues that our company is facing. So you need to be very much thorough with this. You need to think in three-dimensional manner or four-dimensional manner on how the answers or the questions will be developed in the examination based on these situational requests. So I believe this is giving you a better understanding and a better content at the moment. So let's go in detail and in-depth understanding. Now students, if you see introduction, Happy Place is a quoted toy retailer. Now when you see the term quoted, students, they are in the stock market. So I will write down here IAS 33. Now IAS 33 is EPS. Students, I think you may be aware about EPS, that is earnings per share. When you are quoted in the organization, you can have the EPS to be shown, which is very much important and critical. And also students, there is one more thing about the weighted average cost of capital, because there can be definitely an investment appraisal scenario in the examination where you need to request the examiner and show it how the WACC can be impacted. Has a chain of retail shops. Again, observe it very clearly, chain of retail shops. So I will be very much specifically and mentioning it very clearly, no manufacturing. We are not involved in manufacturing. We are effectively involved in the chain of retail shops. So be very, very careful with that, students. No manufacturing at the moment. Now moving forward, students, Happy Place also sells a substantial quantity of toys online. So they already have a digital strategy. So I can say that is a strength as well, because they do have the retail stock, plus still they do have the online sales as well. So I can write down here about the cyber risk, students. There can be online risk as well. So those things are very, very critical in your perspective. Happy Place operates in Wisteria, a developed country and a strong economy, and whose citizens have high standard of living. Now, this indirectly says the disposable income is very, very high in those regions. So what happens is when the disposable income is high, they will be able to spend on toys and entertainment. So I can write down that that's a good factor. But we need to keep in mind there can be macro situation like economic crisis, like what is happening in the European region as well. So be careful with that. Westaria's currency is W dollars. Westaria's company law requires companies to prepare financial statements in accordance with IFRS. Now students, why they always say is in examination, one question is guaranteed from F2, and you need to remember the accounting standard, because it is very critical for the student to understand the application of the accounting standards. You are the finance manager at Happy Place head office. Your primary responsibilities are associated with management accounting, and you report to Young May Quinn, the senior finance manager, who report directly to the finance director. Now, this is generally a statement always mentioned to identify your role, but please remember this is very critical because of professional writing. because since you are an employee, you need to make sure your writing is very professional. You cannot criticize the person. You need to always tell it in a very diplomatical manner, so that it will be very professional when you are communicating any improvement as well. So I believe this is fine. So moving forward, students, the toy industry. Now, students, if you observe the toy industry, let's go through this. This is very, very important, students, and I will be doing a short note as well, because if you observe this toy industry, it's very, very critical. Now, before I move on to the prices or the items like individually, I just want you to show this. This is very, very important, where the Westarian market's annual revenue. Now, students, this is very important to identify the good performing and the underperforming. Now, it's in billion. Students, observe the size of the market. It is in billion, not in million. It's in billion. Get this point of view. It is in billion. So it's a bigger market, if I'm not mistaken. Now, students, these are the traditional toys. Now, if you generally observe electronic games, do you see here, students, electronic games? I'm just connecting. It is the one which is having the lowest level of, I can say, the revenue generated. And I can come to the answer also. I think you have already guessed the answer before I guess it, because of mobile phones. Now, students, if you generally observe, mobile phones are generally doing very well in the market. Tablets, if I'm not mistaken, tablets. So I don't think students, or I don't think the children nowadays are very much critical about the electronic games, like basic brick games in the system. They do not want that. They want more and more entertainment. So I can say electronic games is I can say, a less revenue generating element, and sometimes it can be costly for the business as well. So in the examination, there can be situation about discontinuation of operation. Those things all may come, so just keep that in mind as well. And also, students, you may be aware about the BCG matrix, that is the Boston Consultancy Group matrix, where you identify the star product, the dog product, the problem child, and also you can identify the cash cow. Now, moving into the detailed application, students, observe it very clearly. The highest is art and craft. Now, students, if you see art and craft toys, that is example like the coloring book, all those things are effectively 1.1. So, students, what I can say is this is mainly because education. There is a correlation, because when students are going to nursery, Montessori, they need to have art and craft. So there is a demand that has been derived in this case. So I believe that is giving you a better understanding at the moment. And also, students, if you see the other one, the infant preschool toys, again observe it very clearly. It is again correlated with the educational industry. Now, once again, these toys are effectively inelastic. I can use the term inelastic because you need to understand these are very, very important area, because when you are doing the inventory and the stock count, so you need to understand the application in detail. And then, students, if you observe the other one, the action figures is 0.6. Now, action figures are like Batman toys. Now, those things are generally like 0.6, they have mentioned at the moment. And the building set, if you see the building set is 0.4. Dolls. Now, if you see dolls, it is effectively 1. And it is a clarity that dolls are generally what you can understand. It is more towards the application, if I'm not mistaken, because especially female children like dolls, so this is a demand for this item as well. Non-electronic games like chess, everything, there is a good sales. And then the outdoor sports toys, example, if you look at like the cart, everything they have, so those things are outdoor sports toy. Plush is like teddy bear, soft toys. Now teddy bear like tough toys are generally doing very well. And the vehicles are the small cars, the remote control cars, all those things are vehicles. Now, students, one thing that is very, very important in this case study is you need to be able to remember the portfolio. So, students, what I did was I just summarized the portfolio. So, if you have a writing book, you can work with me, students. So, I'll write down here portfolio summary, because that is very, very important, the portfolio summary. So, I will work with you all, and you can also work with me together. So in the portfolio summary, students, what I can do is a basic application. If you see in the portfolio summary, what I have done is I have made it like this: bad, or I can say via bad pen O. So V stands for, if I am not mistaken, students, I have made this into small things so that it will be very easy for you to understand the application. Via bad pen O. Now students, if you see in this case, for example, students, if you observe I stands for infant or the preschool toys. If I am not mistaken, that is very clear if I am not mistaken. So that is having not an issue at all. And then students, V stands for the vehicle if I am not mistaken. And then students, A stands for action toys. B, if I'm not mistaken, it stands for the blocks, the building blocks, if I'm not mistaken, the brick toys, or I can say the building sets. And then the A, art and craft, art and craft. D stands for doll. And P, if I'm not mistaken, stands for the plush, the soft toys like teddy bear, everything. E stands for electronic, and N stands for non-electronic, and O effectively stands for, if I'm not mistaken, outdoor toys. So students, as a management accountant, in this case, you need to remember this very well. So this will be a suggestion that will be coming in the exam day. So please remember this via bad pen O. Via bad pen O. So this is what I memorized it, or I developed it for myself to keep this thing in my mind. If you have a better mnemonic, you can do that. Now students, this is very critical in order to be successful in this business. Now I am going to do the analysis of this so that you will understand it very detailed, because this is very important for you to get the business analysis, because this is indirectly the industry analysis what we are doing at the moment. So let's start going through this in detail. So students, let's start analyzing the situation more in detail so that it gets the understanding and the application. Toys can take many forms, ranging from simple playthings for infants to sophisticated models and puzzles. Toys are essentially products that are intended to stimulate play and sometimes learning through the play. This definition is broad and it is not clear whether it applies to certain products. Market analysts agreed that toys fall into the following categories. Now these are the toy categories that they are giving you, and this is what we were discussing also. But as a management accountant in a retail sector, inventory management, so I'll write down here students, inventory management, that means the stock management is very important. So I'll write down here inventory management, students, because if you observe your store or whatever you are doing should have a proper inventory management in order to do very well. Now action figures. Now students, if you observe the action figures, it is very clear. Action figures are models that can take many different forms, ranging from small molded plastic figures to larger posable figures that are dressed in uniform outfits and equipped with accessories. Now when I see the term plastic, I recall the term integrated reporting, because students, if you see, sustainability is a very important factor. Now see students, if you are going to dispose the plastic, there will be bigger challenges because of recycling effect. So many things are affecting this. So moving forward, many action figure toys are based on characters from television series or films. Toy manufacturers often pay film producers for the right to manufacture such toys under license. Action figures are not generally based on human characters. They can also take the form of animals and aliens as well. Action figures are popular with children among 4 to 8 years. So I'll write down here 4 to 8 years. Now this is the age where children watch cartoon. So action figures are more concerned. And students, I'll write down here IAS 38 intangible asset, because you need to obtain the license, because this is something that is already patented. Example, Harry Potter. Now students, you see Harry Potter is once again a licensed movie. So if you are going to sell Harry Potter toys, you need to have the license for that. So I believe that is very clear from your end. And coming to the next one, which is the art and craft. Arts and craft include crayons, paints, plasticine, and other products that can be used by children to create models and drawings. So this is very important for education, because they need to create models and drawings, and generally in schools they may request the students to have that as well. Craft toys can be designed for unstructured play. They can include large boxes of crayons, markers, or washable ink also. So just remember that students, that is also highly possible in that. Craft toys can also be used to encourage more structured creativity. Coloring books to provide children with line drawing that can be filled using crayons or pencil, such as drawings can be original and can license images of favorite characters scenes in the television program. These products are usually aimed at quite narrow age group. Children can play with crayons from the age of 18 months to the 10 years. So once again, 18 months to 10 years. The customer life cycle is almost a decade. So you can generally have a good strong base as well. So the age is also very important when you are doing this. Now students, the next one is the building set. Now building set, again, we are not producing anything, we are selling. Again, remember that very clearly, we are sellers only. We are the intermediary. So building set, as you already know, I'll just give you the idea. It is similar to the Lego. So I'll write down here, this is similar to Lego. Building sets consist of metal or plastic parts that can be used to build models. Building sets can be designed to encourage creative play with children designing and building their own creation. So this is generally like the Lego. They can create their own creation as well. Building sets can also be designed to construct a particular object such as a model car or a house. Such sets are accompanied by plans and have all parts required to make them. Such models are often based on characters, vehicles, location from television program or films. Building sets are sold for children of all ages, including complicated kits for intended for construction by adults. So it's similar to Lego. Some products are designed to play for children from 18 months, I think, if I'm not mistaken, with large parts and easy to handle the play. Now, one thing is, if I'm not mistaken, injury. Now, there can be injury during this play. So, we need to be very clear of the compliance requirement. So, I'll write down here compliance requirement. So, I'll write down total quality management can be an area that can be tested in the examination. Now, students, moving to the next one, the dolls. Now students, I will just put a star for this doll because doll is an item which evolved for a longer period of time. And in this case study also, you need to be very much concerned about how the dolls play a major role. There are several types of dolls that allow for differences between age group in children and different ways to play with dolls. That is also very clear. Baby dolls represents infants are designed for play in which dolls are nurtured and cared. So one category of doll is baby doll. I believe you are writing this down because dolls also you need to have a mix when you are buying that. Large dolls are between 30 to 50 centimeters tall. They may represent licensed characters from television and from film. Again, IAS 38 is coming, students, licensed characters. So be very careful about the standard IAS 38. Feature dolls are similar to large dolls but have an active feature such as electronic enabled dolls to walk and dance. So they can do the dancing part as well. Mini dolls are pocket sized and designed to be collected or played with a group of figures. So that is the mini doll version. And fashion dolls are sold in dress and accessories to enable play being based on charging the doll's appearance on occupation. So there is fashion doll element as well. Diverse range of dolls types may appeal in one form to another. So children aged to 18 to 12 months can play, 12 years can play. So students, just remember it is almost going above a decade. Now students, coming to the electronic games. Now electronic games here is not mobile phone or tablet. This is the old electronic games which only produces sounds and basic characters and which are already preloaded. You can't change any games, it is already there. So students, electronic games, if you generally see, I'll put a star because this is becoming like a dog product which is almost going out of the market. Electronic games takes the form of physical devices that have been preloaded with the software that cannot be changed. Get that very clearly. Gameplay usually involves colored lights or audio beeps. Electronic games are generally designed to stimulate learning by preschool children or to enable individual or group play by the older children as well. Electronic games designed for preschool children tend to set simple tasks such as identifying color of the object. Games for older children are often challenges such as remembering sequences of flashing lights. Two or more players may compete to remember the longest sequence also. Electronic games are separate category from video games, such as games console and software run in that. So not downloadable games or anything. This is completely a basic type of electronic game which uses battery. Now, non-electronic games. Now, moving into this can take many different forms. Play often centers around the board or a deck card. So this is storable for a long period of time. And this game is competitive element game. Some games are based on chance, some are strategic thinking and mixture of both. Now, Ludo, you may be knowing Ludo. Now, Ludo, everything is similar to that. Chess, you may doing chess. So chess all are similar to that. Games vary in terms of intellectual property belonging to the manufacturer. Games such as draughts and checkers are generic and manufactured freely. Now, manufactured freely means one thing, we can produce own branded game. We can produce our own branded games also. That is also a chance there. Some games involve patented and trademark element that being to the manufacturer. Games can also involve images based on films, television program and are manufactured under license. Games can be aimed at preschool market, at older children or at adult. So get this understanding very well. This is the normal games. Now the next one, infant and the preschool toys. And the outdoor and the sports toys also will go to that. Now these toys, that is the infant toys, are designed to stimulate play and learning for babies and young children. So I think this is an inelastic demand because because this is something that you need to buy and give for them. Baby toys comprise simple items such as rattles as well as sophisticated battery powered products that may offer visual and oral simulation. Toys aimed at children from 18 months to school age, often adaptation of categories of toys, are designed to be played with safely. For example, action figures or dolls will have no small parts that might be swallowed. If they are licensed, they may be based on characters from preschool programming. And the outdoor and the sports toys. Now, outdoor toys can range from simple generic products such as ball and elaborate such as swing, trampolines, ride-on vehicles. Generic outdoor toys are often cheap to manufacture and can relatively offer high margins to the retailers. Sales are often seasonal. Now, this is only during the summer time. You can't sell it every time, so summer, with demand peaking during the summer month only. Outdoor and sports toys are popular with children of all ages. All the individual products are aimed at specific group in order to ensure the safest play. So just make sure that is also clear. The seasonal variation is there in that perspective. Now moving into the next one, the plush. Now students, if you observe the plush, this category comprises of stuffed animal and similar products. These range from teddy bears to more abstract designs. Many plush toys are sold to preschool market, although they have been attempt to enhance the play value by adding movements and sound. Plush toys can be manufactured cheaply. Many plush toys are generic. There is no potential patents or license. Some brands of plush toys are trademarked and are often sold to collectors. Some plush toys are based on characters from popular children's books. So again, one thing is we can have our own branded toys. That is one thing I can say. We can go with own branded toys. We can demand for that because we do have, you will learn later, we do have 120 stores in Wisteria. So we do have a very good strong supply chain in the market. Vehicles. Now vehicles, if you generally see, it is boys. Now if you see in the toy industry, there are two categories. One is boys, one is girl, and the other one is unisex. So you need to get that understanding very clearly of segmenting. And please be mindful, there can be segmental analysis as well. Toy vehicle can be plastic or metal model of real or imaginary car, truck or buses. They can be designed to be pushed along the floor that can be motorized. Now motor is coming, so again safety plays a major role. Sometimes it can explode as well. Motorized cars can be remote control or designed to be raced on special tracks. Toy vehicles can be licensed copies of real cars, and they may also be based on cars that feature on television or films. Toy vehicles are sold to a wide range of ages. Plastic models are designed for preschool children and limited editions sold to adults. Now, students, one thing that comes to my mind is Hot Wheels. You may be knowing Hot Wheels is specialized for the toy element only. Now, moving forward, students, I think we went through the analysis of this in detail, and I'll just write down once again, students, via bad pen O. Remember this via bad pen O. This is the mnemonics that you need to keep in mind to remember the portfolio of product, because as a manager you need to know this. As a finance manager, the portfolio of the product is very much important. Now, students, branded products are sold on the basis of known and trusted brands. Generic products are not sold on basis of the brand. So generally there is branded and non-branded as well. The above classification exclude items that can be described as toys, often through specialized vehicle. Like for example, bicycle, video game console like PlayStation. We say PlayStation. All those things are generally excluded from the toy industry. It is something separate, even though toy retailers sell that also. So just remember that, students, it is very important. And students, in P2 there is a topic, I'll write it down. The topic is direct product profitability. You need to remember that as that area, direct product profitability. There is an area called direct product profitability which is 100% going with this case study. So have an idea about that. Now students, if you see the next one, Westarian toy retail market. Now, we initially went through the global toy market and the categories of toy. Now, this is how the Wisteria business ecosystem. So, I will write down here business ecosystem. Why are they giving this? This is for business ecosystem. So, I will write down here business ecosystem. Business ecosystem. There are 5 main categories of toy retailers in Wisteria. First, let's go through them. Independent toy shop chains, that is only Happy Place. Now, our company is this Happy Place, so I'll write it down for you all. We are here. Catalog stores, then we have online retailers, then we have the supermarket. So I think effectively we have these 5 categories only who are effectively selling toys to the consumers. Now let's initially focus on the independent toy retailers. Independent toy retailers are generally specialized toy shop. They sell toy alongside with complementary products such as baby clothes and other goods that are intended to use by the children. Most have only one outlet. That means this is like sole trader business. So I'll write down here sole trader business. So this will give you a basic idea what is this. Basic small shops which sell toys. Independent toy retailers are often located in town centers and attract customers through enticing window display. So I believe this you can see it very well. These are the small shops that is there and they attract a small number of consumers. But my question to the entire class is, the biggest risk these guys will be facing is internet. Because when there is internet and when there is online shops, I think people will not take time to go here. So that is one thing that you need to keep in mind. The next one, toy shop chains. Toy shops chain have multiple branches that specialize in toys. They also sell complementary product lines such as children bicycle. The shops themselves tend to be large and laid out for toy supermarket. Now they are known as toy supermarket. Now our company is a toy supermarket. Just understand it very clearly. This is a toy supermarket. They are frequently located out of the town retail parks. Wisteria has 2 toy shops chain, namely Happy Place and Glee. Both sell online as well as from their own shops as well. So they sell it online and they sell it from their own shop as well. So they do have some transformation towards the online business. Now the catalog shops. Catalog retailers sells wide range of goods. Customers can select the products for purchase from printed catalogs or retailers' website before visiting a shop to make payments and collect their selected products. These retailers do not display products on their shops. Goods for resale are stored inside of the customer, fetched after the customer is paid. This is similar like a factory outlet. We can generally say, you can generally select the product you want, they will give it to you. Curve catalogs, remember the name students, is Wisteria's only catalog retailer. It's huge range of goods including toys. The company has many branches and also sell goods online for home delivery. Even they are also doing online sales as well. But the customer service is not so efficient because they are standardized sellers. Now moving to the next one, dedicated online retailers do not operate physical shops. Goods are chosen and paid through their website and delivered to customers at home. A browser shop, students remember the term browser shop, in Wisteria is the only dedicated online retailer product range that includes toy. So that is also one factor. Supermarkets. Supermarkets sells wide range of non-food items through their stores, including toys. Customers find it convenient to buy toys while shopping in the grocery. Supermarket often sells non-food items at a discount and also attract customers to their stores as well. So supermarket generally they may have some additional place where they will have toys also. Like if you go through Walmart, everything, they may have one section for the toys as well. Now, this is a very important understanding and an observation about the retail market's revenue. Now, if you observe independent toy retailers 20%, but they are clustered. They are not, if I'm not mistaken, they are not having a 1 dozen dominance. There are small players everywhere. But brand wise, Happy Playz and our competitor is Glee, who has the same model. And if you see browser shop and curve catalog and the supermarket. Now, even if you see supermarket is generally not specialized for toys, so that is something different. Now, one challenge is if there is a business combination between any of this acquisition or disposal, one person can become the market leader. Now, if you see Happy Playz, our organization, and Glee, Happy Playz plus Glee, let's assume 10% plus 15%, effectively how much? 25%. I believe that gives you a better understanding. Now, in this case, that's the application that you need to understand it very clearly. And you see this cover catalog and browser shop, where the online stores, they are effectively going for 32% if you add. And Glee and ours effectively 25%. So the understanding here is digitalization in the market. So I'll write down here digitalization in the market. Digitalization in the market. So I believe that gives you a better understanding here. Digitalization in the market. So there is a high tendency of a digitalization taking place in the market for your understanding. Now students, let's move on to the detailed application of how this works out. Collectively, the toy shop chains have large shares of retail market totaling 25% as we discussed, but they are struggling to maintain market shares because of the competition of non-traditional toy sellers. Now, this is the uniqueness in this case study. The competition level is very high. So I'll write down here, competition is very high. There is no brand loyalty also. You never see brand loyalty in the retail sector because they will be buying whatever the product is cheaper in the market. They are only bothered about the varieties of products that is there. Curve catalog is the largest retailer, individual toy retailer, that is slowly losing the market to browser shop. So they are the largest individual toy retailer, but they are also losing it to browser shop, the online store. Curve catalog is responding by moving into online sales, home delivery, which suggests that the retail toy market will be driven by online sale. Now the next one. The supermarkets are a significant part of the retail market. Despite the fact they tend to offer only a limited range that is restricted to most popular toys. Happy Playz store has approximately 7,000 toys, that is very important, but the supermarket is only 1,200. So In supermarket, they may have general toys, but if you see company like us, we may have specialization also. The toys which are not available anywhere, we can effectively have that within our organization. That is one thing that you need to keep in mind. Then independent toy retailers struggle to compete against other players in the retail market. That is true. They may only offer a restricted range of products because of the size, small premises, not big as we are thinking. They do not buy sufficient quantity to receive the same discount of the other retailers. Their revenues are further threatened by the decline of number of shoppers who shop in the town and city centers. Some independent retailers specialize particular types of toys such as handmade plush toys, wooden dolls. This can attract a niche market and have a high margin. Example, I can generally say handmade toys. Now, if you see handmade toys will definitely have a different market. So that is the differentiation factor. So that is what we are analyzing, and observe it very clearly, students. This is not a Lion's Pride industry. This is not a Shark Tank industry. This is not a Hornet Nest. And this is not a wolf gang. It's a very unclustered market. So here there will be a situation where we unite with all the players and sustain the market. If there is a price war, the consumer will gain from the price war. So just keep that in mind. It is very important that you understand the application very, very well. Now students, retailers and manufacturers. Now here we are going to learn the key importance. Now if you have gone through the previous case study, students, you will understand a huge difference. The huge difference is in the PryBlocks. I'll write down the name also. In the PryBlocks case study, it is mostly towards a manufacturer. But in this case study, it is purely with a retailer. So the retailer is a little bit challenging factor because we need to sell at the end of the day. Selling is the ultimate goal for success. Buying decision in the toy industry is heavily influenced by the taste of the children. That is true. And they change. I'll write down here, it changes. The children taste changes because of the technological advancement. The market is constantly changing as each generation of children move from one age group to the next. That is also true. One by one, they are moving forward for the next thing. And if you do not have a customer life cycle, that is an area that is very, very important. So I will write down here, students, customer life cycle, because customer life cycle is a very, very important area that you need to keep in mind. Demand for toys can be influenced by children television, viewing habits, and publication of new books. Those changes are not easy to predict. That is true. And students, if you also see YouTube Kids, there is YouTube Kids. Now we need to be data wise also very strong, because nowadays children are not watching TV, they are watching YouTube Kids, which is a personalized app for children only. Toy manufacturers tend to combine the following approaches, mainly popularity of their brand. So this is what the manufacturers do, so that they are giving this so that understanding is very clear for you. Now one thing they are specifically saying is incremental changes for the existing product. That means, students, you just update the product. No new changes, just update it. Like iPhone 13, 14, just an update. You don't make a big change. Okay, so that is one thing they are spelling. New product is something innovation. So I'll write down here innovation, something new. So you need to make sure that is one way the branded products are done, and the licensed one. And as you know, action toys. Now if you generally see Black Panther, now if you see Black Panther is an action toy, so they can license that. So that is the ideology of that. Now students, moving forward into the detailed application, let's go through this in detail for your understanding. Manufacturers seek to maintain revenues by making incremental changes. That means step by step they will make changes. A car, a motor car, incremental changes. The established brands and provide ranges. Many toys have been popular with children for many years and continue to sell steadily, and manufacture to continue to invest in order to maintain the popularity as well. An existing toy may be improved by the additions of new accessories or additional feature. Children are keen to own latest version of favorite toys. So small changes can lead to additional sales. Basic changes. You can have Bluetooth feature enabling control the app, and you can control the vehicle using your mobile phone, something like that. Toys that are sold as series or range, such as model cars, can be enhanced by replacing least popular models with the new one. The promotion of new models can stimulate demand across the whole range. Advertising and promotional activities are kept under review. Manufacturers work with the retailers to persuade the position of the product in prominent position in the shops and the website. So once again, the marketing factor is between the retailer and the manufacturer, because we will be guiding them on marketing, and ethical marketing plays a critical role. Ethical marketing, because you can't sell low quality toys, you can't influence children in a negative manner, so keep that in mind. Most toy manufacturers aim to develop innovate new product. These generally offer limited downside risk with possibility of upside gain, because children likes everything new experience, they will try to somewhat get it, so that's a new experience. New toys can be set to market research testing before their manufacturers decide to launch. It is relatively unusual for new toys to be a commercial failure. At worst, a new toy will sell for a year or two and will cover cost before withdrawn from the sales. Occasionally, new toys generate a massive demand. Get that point of view very well. New toys generate a massive demand. Manufacturers can sell many of these to produce. Retailers are ordered copies of the product and they deliver. So I will write down one thing. There is something called the target costing. Now we are not going to manufacture, but we can give data, target costing we can give, value analysis we can give, functional analysis we can give. So students, just write this down so that it gives you the understanding very clearly. The sales opportunities create sought after toys tends to be short lived. Competing manufacturers will often aim to launch their own version such as toys, so the market becomes flooded with limitations. Toy manufacturers will frequently attempt to persuade retailers to place large orders for the toy due to be launched, in hope that there is a huge demand, success and predict. So here students, there is an idea about negotiation. Students, in E2 there is a section on negotiation, because here we need to negotiate with our manufacturers, because there can be consignment also. So I will write down here students, consignment as well. There are high chances of consignment coming into the picture also. Now moving into the next one, most categories of toys can be linked to license image, such as characters of films, television or the book. As I told you, Black Panther, Batman, everything is similar to that. These can be simple as coloring books, pictures based on storyline, complex or remote control vehicles, model to look at vehicles from a film. Film and television producers and book publishers can earn significant amount of royalties. Again, I am telling you students, please remember IAS 38 and IAS 37. There can be legal offenses also. Just I'll write down here, a legal provision can also come into the picture. So just keep that in mind. They usually work with potential licensors with their film, program books or in the production. There may be many successful toys based on such licensing agreement as well. So understand it very clearly. Now the next one. The retail toy sales for the annual cycle. Toys sell steadily, albeit there's a volatility during the third quarter of the calendar. The fourth quarter accounts to roughly 50% of the annual toys by revenue. Now this is very important for the portfolio management because of the seasonal variation. So I'll write down here seasonal variation, because there is a high seasonal variation. And they are saying traditionally Westarian children receive expensive toys as birthday gift. So that is one thing. They are having that disposable income, they are saying. Children also receive inexpensive toys as gift throughout the years, but they save pocket money to buy toys by themselves also. So there is a good market, if I'm not mistaken, in this country. The fourth quarter of holiday season drives much activity to the toy industry. Manufacturers are keen to launch new products at that time to obtain maximum benefits. Retailers are keen to identify the toys that will be most popular so they can buy the inventory and prevent loss of sales rival. Frequently, one new toy is launched at this season, and there's such a demand for quick sale. So the fourth quarter is the very, very important quarter, and that is the quarter that is pertaining to the Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. Now, students, coming to the next one, they are saying toy manufacturers exhibit their product in annual East Lane Toy Festival at January. So remember this event. There can be new product launch taking place. Just remember Eastland foreign country. So there is IAS 21 foreign currency translation risk for your understanding. This is the largest and the most important toy fair and provides opportunity for retailer buyer to meet with the toy manufacturers marketing managers. Manufacturers demonstrate new toys that will be launched during the year, prototypes of toys under the development. So there can be new toys coming future, there can be underdeveloped toys as well. So that gives the speculation and hype also. So share price, because we are a listed company, share price plays a critical role because of speculation. So I will write down speculation factor also in that. Toy manufacturers also work directly with large retailers, including Happy Playz. Marketing managers will aim to meet regularly in order to maintain contact and securing the orders as well. Retailers generally make initial commitment to order fourth quarter purchases at the end of the first quarter. So the planning is very, very critical. So I'll write down here supply chain management, because it's very important. The supply chain management is very strong. This enables manufacturers to schedule production, particularly of the new products as well. In addition to ordering the advance in the fourth quarter, retailers must place regular order throughout the year to replenish the inventory and to acquire more promising new toys that can be launched in the fourth quarter. Retailers must also prepare summer months for the outdoor toys, if I'm not mistaken. Licensed toys create opportunities for both manufacturer and retail, and this can generate substantial revenue. Demand for licensed products are usually peak in response to the publicity of the launch of the film, television programs, and book upon based. Manufacturers who have license will seek orders from retailers long before the launch. Typically, retailers will wish to have the toys inventory 6 weeks before the launch so that the promotion and the merchandising can coincide with the film and the toys during the year. So students, in this important case study, before we move on to Happy Place, one of the most important thing that you need to be aware is merchandising. So students, I will just write down a short note about merchandising. Now, merchandising in simple language is you need to make sure what you are buying for your store. So the goods and services, what you are effectively buying to your store is only known as merchandising. Now students, I'll just summarize this, and it is always recommended if you can just take a note of this so that it will give you how your questions can be designed by the examiner in your final exam. So if you observe, we do have 4 quarters as per the information given, and you need to understand the fourth quarter is the peak season. So what I will do, I'll just keep it here, and it's the peak season. So effectively, just to ensure it's a peak, I'll just draw a line like this. It's going up. And then students, there is one more season for your idea. The other season that is for your idea is the summer. So the summer season, only the outdoor toys will go. So I'll just keep this as the summer season, just to understanding. And so it is easy for you to get the application very well. So in the summer season also, the outdoor toys will definitely have a high peak time. And then the other one is the random events like I can say the action toys. So action toys can be anytime when they are launching, it can go up or go down. Now I'll just write down here action toys. So action toys are seasonal demand. Outdoor toys are seasonal demand. I believe this is very clear for you. Outdoor toys are seasonal demand. Action toys are also seasonal demand. That is very clear for the classroom, if I'm not mistaken. And also the next thing is the Christmas season. Now during the Christmas season, I think very expensive dolls, the dolls will go. If I'm not mistaken, the vehicles, expensive vehicles can go. So these are like very much of a very high peak area time. But there are certain items, whatever happens, it will have sales. That is, example, I can say art and craft. Art and craft, every time there will be sale. Non-electronic games, every time there is sales. Correct, if I'm not mistaken. Then electronic games, now it is less, but no seasonal demand. And then we have the other one, if I'm not mistaken, that is the infant toys. Infant toys, no big change. Then you have plush. Now, if you observe this, if I'm not mistaken, it is totally 6. Outdoor toys 7, action toys 8, doll 9, and vehicle 10. So, if you observe, if you are managing inventory, you need to have stocks of this separately. You get what I'm saying, students? These are items which are not affected to the season. Anytime it will go based on the demand and the supply. And you may argue, what about art and craft, school demand? Yes, but still, this also has a demand anytime because children lose their coloring pencil, everything on time. So get this understanding very clearly, students, because it is very much important for you to get the application. So students, moving into the next one, Happy Playz. Now coming to the Happy Playz, let's move on to this. Happy Playz was established in 1992 when its founders opened the first Happy Play shop store in Wisteria, Hope City. So it's not a very old company. It's almost a 30 years old establishment if you observe. The founders focused heavily on promotion and merchandising. The shop itself is vibrant colors and visible. So I'm telling you, the merchandising, how you bring products to your shop is the final thing. If you bring the latest product which is demanded, you will sell and you will make profit. If you have a delay, it will be a bigger issue. Even in city center district, the shop concentrated and established a popular brand for toys which were priced to match the lowest price set by the competitors. Happy Playz aimed to offer wider range of products than competitors, so customers can browse, choose what the whole range of offered in the leading brand, not just limited selection of most popular one also. Happy Playz was quoted on Wisteria stock market in 2004. The founders sold their interest at that time. So one good thing I can say, no family interference. So I'll write down IAS 24, related party transaction is no, because the founders have sold it, so it's completely going with a flotation. There can be related party provided the current directors are doing something, but in the scene of the bigger picture, the founders are no more. So this company has been surviving even without the founders. That clearly shows a good side for the organization. Since 1992, Happy Playz has positioned all its shop out of town retail park, relocating city centers which is necessary. They are also popular for customer because of a plenty of parking spaces located to motorways. So it's good for family outing because parking spaces are there. So people find it more convenient to shop. But only thing is, the next question is online, because online has come to the bigger picture. Happy Playz now has 120 shops, 6,500 employees. Remember this, students, very, very important. These shops are spread across Wisteria. The company's head office is on the outskirts of Central City, employs 140. So 6,500, 140 in the head office. There is also a warehouse adjacent to the head office in inventory, and the shop is fulfill online orders. The warehouse has 240 staff, so I'll write down 240 also. So if you do a call calculation and see the total, 6,500 and plus 380, that is 6,880. So this is what we have to understand it very, very clearly. 6,880 employees are there effectively. Now the challenge I am thinking is online. Now there is online coming into the picture. So can there be a situation of downsizing? That is the question I am asking. Downsizing can come also for your understanding. Just remember that, students, downsizing is also a possibility. Now moving down, retail operations. Now let's see how the retail operations generally work for this organization. Now if you observe the retail operation, Happy Playz revenues comes largely from the sale of traditional toys. but the company also sells video games and small range of children bicycle. The company may not be able to compete with specialist video game or bicycle retailer. These are just side business, but customers often expect to find such items on sale and both sell steadily. Though customers find it convenient to buy those items as well. So they are selling that also. Happy Place shops are laid out to encourage customers to browse and make their selection. They can walk across because how many items they have? 7,000 items are there. So just remember that, students. Each shop has several aisles of racks on the side. Shop staffs are available with direct shoppers and locations are given by the product. Staffs are equipped with Wi-Fi enabled tablets that assist checking inventory and also product specifications. The staffs are also expected to have specific product knowledge to enable them to advise to make informed recommendation as well. So get that point of view. It is very important that they do have a digital system where staffs are helping the people. So that looks a good way of doing it. And there can be other ways also coming in the future. Happy Place website is used to promote products, including any special offers and promotion. Customers can select and pay items through website and collect them from the nearest shop. Customers can also order goods for home delivery. So two options are there. They can order and collect it, go home delivery. Happy Place warehouse acts as a fulfillment center for online sales, home delivery. Warehouse staffs are packed and labeled goods with a third-party courier company collects the online sales in the evening and organizes delivery within 48 hours. So they have a third party outsourcing. So in case there is a issue, there can be some reputation risk also coming future regarding the outsourcing party, what to do with him. The next thing. Now moving forward, each of Happy Place shop is managed as a profit center. So P2, responsibility center is the area. So each of the area is mentioned as a profit center. Shop managers are responsible for achieving sales performance target that are set by the marketing department at head office. Shop managers have limited discretion, but it has been noted that competence and enthusiasm of individual shop managers can have significant impact on performance of their shops. So once again, it's related to HR because when you're selling children toy, you need to be very much enthusiastic. You need to be kind. You need to be helpful. They will change their mindset anytime, but you need to have that. So there needs to be a proper training and development within the organization to make sure the applications are very strong. Pricing decisions are centrally made by the head office, but Happy Place gives shops managers the authority to reduce selling price specific items in response to local competition. If local competitor is offering a particular toy at a discount, the shop managers can create a special offer to match and undercut the competitor. So it's a well managed pricing strategy because they are not playing with the market by giving special discount. They are going with the market. That's what I told you. Business ecosystem is a very, very important area for you to understand. Now moving into the next one. Sales volumes can be increased through supervision and encouragement of shop staff. Customers are more inclined to buy if they are assisted by competent and motivated staff who take time to understand their need and advise them accordingly. Keen managers also encourage staff to encourage the shops neat and tidy and clean the floor and stocking. So cleanliness plays a major role. Attraction. We say this as the attraction to the buyers. Shop managers can also draw upon their knowledge of local market to enhance sales through merchandising. For example, the managers of shops in the seaside town might create a display of beach toys, prominent position for the shop entrance. Because as I told you, although you have 120 shops, it is decentralized because it is dispersed throughout the country. So geographical region plays a critical role there. Vigilant managers can create system and impose performance standard on staff that minimizes inventory loss due to theft and damage. So it is the internal control system, ensuring the staffs are active and engaged to discourage customers from shoplifting while encouraging the legitimate customers to make purchases, keep inventory shop stacks and organized to reduce the risk of management due to item being dropped. So this is a basic understanding at the moment how they work. Shops opening hours are set by the retail park. They are situated who lease the properties to Happy Place. So they are under lease contract. Most require the tenants to be open from 9 to 21. That is 9 to 9, if I'm not mistaken. 7 days per week. So they are open for 7 days per week. Each shop has a manager, three assistant managers. So one manager, below him three assistant managers, if I'm not mistaken, just keep in mind. And then they are also responsible for operating tills, advising customers and replenishing the sale. Now tills is their POS, the point of orders. And then each shop has a staff rota that ensures nobody works for more than 8 hours. It's a good practice also in any day. And each member of staff has to take rest of 2 days per week. Very good HR, I can observe. The rota changes week to week, so staff must be flexible in terms of working hours, working days. The rota adjusts staff's level to take account of expected customer numbers. Shop managers and assistant managers must also work on rota basis, with at least one present during shop opening hours. When the shop manager is absent, the assistant managers are designated with responsibility of running the shop. Management. Now students, coming into the next one, management. Each shop manager is in frequent contact with Happy Place head office. So get the understanding, each shop manager is in frequent contact with Happy Place head office. So the thing is, there is a contact, although it is decentralized. So they have an idea what is happening. Revenues are recorded through the electronic point of sales system, that is the till, in each shops. These transmit data to head office to close business each day. The accounting department and head office collates this information and supplies shop managers and marketing departments with regular report. Now, one thing I have to be very specific in this case is business intelligence. So I'll write down here business intelligence. Now, if you see, business intelligence is one factor that you need to keep in mind, because they do have the data flowing from the company's business. So staffing level at each shops are set by human resource department at head office. Human resource recruit to fill vacancies for the shop, advisors and staff grievances and disciplinary matters. So there can be a disciplinary issue, complaint between the managers and the staff, managers and managers. So we need to be very specific with that also. The property department and the head office organizes service including shop cleaning and maintenance. Facility managements will also organize local contractor to carry out routine management or repairs. Happy Place owns fixtures and fitting in its shops. The company is also responsible for most maintenance repair of the building as well. Get this point very clearly. Charges for utilities such as electricity, local property taxes are invoiced to their respective shops. Shop managers check the accuracy of internal reading and forward the invoices. Now, here there is an internal control, because too much of power has been given to the shop managers, so there is a high challenge on the internal control as well. Now students, moving into the next one, that is the Happy Place head office functions are divided into the following. And also this is also a good thing: buying, purchasing, logistics, marketing, human resource, property, information technology and finance. Now let's go through that in detail, because it is very important and it is giving a lot of information as well. Now moving into the buying. The buying department is responsible for evaluating new products and for deciding new products should be purchased. Happy Place buyer attends toy fairs and visit manufacturers around the world, study trends in toy industry and work to ensure Happy Place can offer the latest and most attractive toys. Some toys are branded and trademarked, so have only one single unique source. The other toys are generic, requiring buying department specific product from competing version. So branded products only can be bought by the main producer, but generic product you have can go for a tender. You can go for the cheapest one also. Buyers must take price and quality into consideration deciding of generic product, such as unbranded plastic footballs. Buying department is responsible for the toys to buy, ordering and handle. Now Here, the accountability of what to buy is with the buying department. What to buy, because you need to make sure you need to buy merchandise, the good things to the stores as much as possible, and the purchasing is little different. Now, if you see, purchasing is not what, it is the quantity to be bought. What to buy is decided by the buying department. Now, the purchasing department. Now, the purchasing department is responsible for placing orders with manufacturers, many of whom are based overseas. Major toy manufacturers employs accounts executive to maintain contacts with the retailers. The staff in Happy Playz purchasing department place orders through account executives at manufacturers. So that is one point. And purchasing department buys branded and generic goods that have been chosen by the buying department. So they choose the quantity to buy, and the purchasing decide the size of the order of the new product replenishes within the system. So that is one more factor. Again, if you observe, one more critical aspect that we can observe is the logistics, the supply chain management. So I'll write down here supply chain management, supply chain management, supply chain management. Inventory has been ordered by the purchasing department, is delivered to Happy Playz warehouse. The logistic department is responsible for managing inventory after it has been received. The Happy Playz frequently receive deliveries of toys that are not sold until the launch date. As you know, we need to buy the goods on time. Those dates are set by manufacturers and are usually timed the greatest possible advantage to release the film in case licensed goods or advertising campaign with the product. Happy Playz takes delivery of such products to assist manufacturers with their own logistical problem and also certain with the goods on time they are producing. The warehouse is also used to store supplies of toys that has been purchased in bulk, readiness for the fourth quarter for selling. Having inventory hand ensures popular toys are available for sales at busy time. Logistic department organizes delivery of inventory to shop across Wisteria. Happy Playz pays third-party haulage companies to handle the collection. Now, the third party is a challenge for us because can there be an assurance if their quality is very poor or something like that? The logistic department also manages packing and dispatches goods that has been sold online. Marketing. Now, here one more challenge that we are seeing is marketing department has more powers, more power. They have more power. They are the one who set the target. Now, that is a budgetary issues we will be facing, because there are many situations that marketing department only considers sales. They avoid non-financial factors that needs to be considered. The marketing department sets sales and performance target for each shop, and the shop manager is responsible for achieving these targets. The marketing department uses data provided by the finance department to provide each manager with daily reports, sales revenue, and monthly report on operating profit. Further, oversight, the support is provided by the regional sales manager. There are 5 regional sales managers responsible overseeing the sales located in their allotted region. So they have divided into 5 regions also. That shows the scale is very huge. Each region has 22 to 26 shops. The regional managers access the sales data and frequent contact with shop managers, phone or email. They also make regular visit to the shops to review the presentation and merchandising of the toys. The marketing department is also responsible for managing advertising activities through both media and company website. Advertising usually focus on Happy Playz name, but the company also advertises selection of toys conjunction with the name. Toy manufacturers are usually keen to have their product featured prominently in promotional materials as well. So they are doing a very good synergetic analysis in that perspective. Coming to the human resources. Now, human resource is responsible for management of human resource, including recruitment, training, and staff retention. It's based on the head office and support the branch. This is just the normal way HR works out. Applicants for job in Happy Playz submit their application to human resource. They who meet Happy Playz standardized interviews by means of video calls recruit special human. Now, They have standardized interview, but generally they need to have something related to the regions, because as you remember, anything related to the beach side, they need to be aware about that. But I generally observe for managers, they may have something like that. For the basic staff, I think they are going with this because the simple process. Staff who works in shops and logistic departments are paid an hourly rate. Each staff grade has a wage scale. Newly appointed staffs are placed on their age and experience. Staff progress is until their maximum grade. Human resources is also responsible for administrative matters relating to pay, conditions, and things. So, one major fact I can observe in this case is a very basic idea. That is, if I'm not mistaken, there can be a bonus or a salary issue that can come in the future. So, just remember that also, students, because it is important. Now, moving into the property. Property department is responsible for property management of Happy Place shop, its warehouse and its head office. The property department responsibility includes facility management such as cleaning and maintaining the legal issues associated with the property leases. Happy Place shop's warehouse and head office building are leased. The property department is responsible for negotiating lease with the landlord. Now, the lease, this is very, very important. IAS, if I'm not mistaken, it was IAS 17. Now it is IFRS 16, the lease. Now, one thing you will also observe, the lease plays a major role because it's very, very important. And Happy Place has an original term of 10 years and the average period is 5. Now, we say this as the onerous contract. We call this as the onerous contract for your understanding, that you need to keep in mind as well. Information technology, they do have an IT department as well because it is also very important. Now, the information technology department is responsible for maintaining and updating Happy Place information technology IT systems. Information technology works closely with marketing department in order to update company website, particular web pages relating to the online sales. Now, here I can specifically say the cyber risk can come into the picture, and the finance is responsible for all aspect of management, financial reporting and treasury management. That's how they say, but you are going to take care of the other headaches also in the exam day. Now, coming to the management structure, if you see, this is our chief executive, Jamil Ahmed, buying, purchasing, marketing and sales. Monica, operation director, logistic, property, information technology. So Monica has a very high target, logistic, property, information technology. We need to be very much careful about her competence, because does she have the competence? And Q Sping, management, financial reporting, treasury, staff retention, recruitment and training. So these are the main thing: marketing, operation, finance, HR. But the question arises here is, we need to have an IT director separately, considering the new changes that is taking place in the market, because it's very, very important as well. And the marketing director is doing the procurement and sales also, so there can be too much of power delegated to him, because buying is a very important thing. They are also having the non-executive directors, Michael Anderson, Vasanthi, Alexandra, Evelyn, and Samsung. But the main problem I generally see is no committees. Students, can you remember, in corporate governance, there are committees. What are the committees? One is known as the audit committee, because there is compulsion, there needs to be an audit committee. Then what is the next one? A remuneration committee. There needs to be a remuneration committee as well. Then what is the other one? The risk committee. There needs to be a risk committee as well. Then what is the other one after remuneration risk? The nomination. There needs to be a proper nomination to the board. So remember, these are the main factors that are completely isolated in the examination. Now, the business model. Now, students, if you generally see the business model, it is generally the same way they are giving in the new exam: define, create, delivering and residual value. Now, residual value is very simple. It's like the net profit, that is cost incurred to create value. Cost incurred to create value divided minus cost incurred to create value. We take the cost incurred to create value, or I can specifically write it down even more easy for you. That is value generated minus cost incurred to create value. Incurred to create value. Now, value generated is like the total income you generated and the cost value. So, one is efficiency. You can have efficiency and then you can make sure that you share it with the people. There can be non-financial benefit also. So, get that really, it's very important. Now, defining value. Now, let's remember here, we are not producing, we are just a retailer. Happy Playz defines value in terms of the choice that offers to the customer. 7,200 varieties. Playz aims to offer a wide selection of exciting and desirable toys. So their value is every toy under one roof. But my question is this a little outdated value? Because online is more popular now. Because remember, browser shop is doing very, very well than our company. So get that point of view, online is out. You have not considered the online because here 7,200, but people need to visit your shop. And certain times you can have the option of delivery also. If you are having the delivery, well, your cost is going up. Example, your staffs are idle because most of the orders come through online. Creating value. Happy Playz maintains a close relationship with toy manufacturers. Customers can visit their local Happy Playz store with knowledge they will be to choose the latest best toys as well as popular classic. Now, once again, creating value, again, they are focusing on the location. Locations are only used to create that value to give 7,200 pounds toys. But what about the staffs? Because staffs help them, right? If I'm not mistaken. So those things are ignored. Delivering value. Happy Playz has a sophisticated inventory management system that enables the latest toy available for sale in its stock and website as soon as it is launched. No. Now, this is the supply chain management that falls in the creating value because that's how delivering value is generally our logistic providers because we use our logistic providers to give the value. This is a part of that. And then what about the shops? Shops are there, if I'm not mistaken, in the retail parks because retail parks, parking area, all those things are not considered in this. Now let's think about how they are making sure that their residual value is captured. Happy Playz shops are attractive and relaxed places to visit, correct? Shops are located convenient, correct? Their Happy Playz staffs are trained to engage with the customer selling toys. Now these are effectively for creating, if I'm not mistaken. Costs are controlled through operational efficiency, stores and logistics. They are only given the cost factor, the efficiency factor only, but they are not giving the sharing of residual value. How they give it to the bonuses given to the people, tax paid to the people, quality that is given, carbon emission, all those things are completely missing here. Now moving into the detailed one. Happy Playz business model depends heavily on the ability of its buyer to identify popular toys at the early stage of the development. Not all new toys that are launched each year are commercially successful, true. Happy Play buyers must choose toys carefully, otherwise the company will be left with inventories of slow-moving products, eventually sold at a loss. Now, if this is the issue, why don't they go for consignment stock? Consignment stock means sell or return basis. Sale or return basis. Why they don't do that? So you need to think about that, students. Sale or return basis. Unfortunately, Happy Playz buyers must also be careful about the over cautions because some new toys proves to be hugely successful, often unexpectedly. Once or twice a year, a newly launched toy becomes so popular that the retailers are struggling to buy sufficient inventory to keep up with the demand. Manufacturers may have led long times to have such overseas. Failing to have such toys create an opportunity cost of the toy retailer, especially in the fourth quarter holiday period, because they should be very careful with the merchandising. It also leads to reputation damage for specialist toy retail because customers generally expect to find the toys in their shop. So even that will be a bigger issue if your merchandising goes wrong. So there can be practical situation of merchandising getting affected in the examination. Happy Playz buys toys and sufficient continue to obtain large discounts from manufacturers. Unfortunately, non-specialists such as supermarket can obtain low prices because they buy narrow range of toys at very large quantities. Non-specialists can only afford limited shelf space on the toys, and so they are focused on items that are most likely to sell quickly. Happy Playz aim to match competitors' prices rather than cutting them, and it also competes with the basis of choice. More choice options are there. The need to match prices means that Happy Place relies heavily on purchasing department to negotiate the keenest possible prices. Logistic department is crucial in managing inventory, as I told you, very important. Maintaining cash flow. Happy Place frequently has taken toys several weeks to intend to put them on sales because that's very important. It is important that the inventory is subsequently delivered to shops ready to be launched date. Efficient inventory management may also require toys to be returned. Happy Place warehouse in order to create shelf space at retail product shops. Logistic department is also analyzes inventory turnover. Specific toys can be popular in one part of the country but not in other part. Logistics can often improve inventory turnover such as greater demand. Toys are unlikely to be quickly usually returned by Happy Place warehouse and sold online are substantially at a discount. So here it clearly goes through the supply chain management. The layout of Happy Place shop is designed to make shopping there pleasant and convenient. So this is a very important point, layout, because that is a part of merchandising, because you need to make sure it is very nice and convenient. Toys are grouped according to categories so that customers who are interested for shopping model vehicles can find entire range quickly and easy also. Manufacturers supply toys in packaging that can be stacked or hanged from retail display, so they can be browsed and handled safely before purchased. Happy Place devotes as much flow such as possible to shelves and racks in the toys. The bright color packaging creates attractive display to excite children, their parents to visit the shop. The shops are large warehouse retailers. Happy Place has equipped each shelving space that are easy to install, remove, reorganize the best possible selling prices. Happy Place shops are located in retail parks. Customers find the location convenient when they are shopping with children because they are safe and accessible. Because retail parks is easy to park also. They are ready to accessible by the car. Major benefit customer concern buying bulky items, so it will be difficult to carrying on the public transport. Retail parks may also be more accessible to the transport of the public and the center on the display also. And bus conductors and train station within are also easy walking distance. The location, if I'm not mistaken, is mentioned. Happy Place recruitment and training place is considerable emphasis of personality. Interviews are described for favorable child toys to be loved. So here we can say in simple language the connection of the 4 P's of Philip Kotler: product, price, place, promotion. So just remember that, students. And now the financial statement, I will be doing a very detailed analysis of this for your understanding. But before moving into that, I just want to show the financial position so that it is very clear. You see, in previous one we had bank loan, but here there is no bank loan. It is very lease liability. So that's a positive sign. And we are importing, but we don't have any IAS 21 translation reserve. So there is lack of translation reserve, students, that has been mentioned here. Translation reserve is completely not there in that perspective for your understanding. And even if you see our competitor, they are given the breakdown also of what we are saying: video games, bicycles, all look the same structure. Operating profits also, slight changes are taking place in certain areas. And if you see Glee, who has 150 shops. Now it is our competitor, and they are located again in retail parks, and they are larger than Happy Place, and more space they have to large toys, outdoor toys, swings, and playhouse. They are huge than us also. And again, as I always observe, they also don't have a translation reserve. And again, I observe one thing, lease liability only has been mentioned. So again, I'm requesting the students, it will be really great if you can go through IFRS 16 once again for your understanding and the application. Now, students, Wisteria Business Daily. Now, if you go through this is very important that you will understand one major issue. The major issue is trend, because what happens is the trend is online. So what we have to understand is, because of this online trend, their demand is less for retail shopping. All are beginning with the online sales, especially certain industries like housing items, all are going down. So we have a challenge on the trend because there is a drop in the challenge. So read this article very, very well. There can be issues related to the rent items, everything. And the mystery of merchandising, this is once again a basic article, but they are telling the simple application of critical success factor. If you want to be a successful retailer, the success relies on how you position your product. So positioning of your items plays a major role. So just remember that, also very important. And then students, the customer advice column. Now this is a very, very important. I can say a triple star because I am 100% sure there will be an issue related to health and safety. So I'll write down here health and safety, because that is very, very critical. And please remember the factors of mechanical, flammable, electrical, toxicity. Small children, right? So anything that happens in this case, the importers needs to take the responsibility. And launches the club. Now this is also one, the app. Now one thing, they have an app in this case where loyalty schemes are there, but the terms and condition is not clear. Terms and condition, they have clearly mentioned you will get 1 point equal to $1 Westarian, but the terms and condition is not clear, which is one factor that you need to keep in mind. And the readers, the toys. Now, if you generally see students, the people are asking about minimum age, why there is a minimum age. The response is dangerous because there are chances small children buying this. There can be situation the tags are torn, you are selling it, so that can also happen. And some students are asking, some children are asking whether can we buy toys if we don't have maturity, and there is a response yes, but the question is very serious because if it is shared between the brothers and sisters in the house, there will be a bigger issue. And outsourcing, sub-party outsourcing, this is something very critical. Sub-party outsourcing, which you need to keep in mind, students, very, very important. And then students, this is the other one about the dump basket where you can sell the plush toys for a cheaper price. So students, as a conclusion, thank you very much for all your support, but my suggestion is that please be very, very careful with the following. So my suggestion, be very careful, that is, when you are revising the pry blocks, if I am not mistaken, you may be aware about the pry blocks. So be very, very careful that you don't memorize anything from pry blocks, because there can be a huge risk for you. And start revising all the questions, start thinking very much towards the industry point of view. Remember the portfolio and the merchandising is important. So students, thank you very much. Good luck with your examination, and definitely you will do very well. Take care, students. Thanks for watching.